Hello everybody, welcome to Red Toolhouse. Have you ever seen something so old, so hollow, so broken inside? Well, we're not going to talk about me today. We're actually going to talk about this cherry log and see why am I even wasting my time trying to mill it up. So come along with me as we fire up the mill and see what we can find in this old girl. So if you saw last week's video where we were mowing the neighbor's meadows, then you'd know where this log came from. And kind of debated whether it was even worth dragging out. You see, we kind of have the beginnings of a cherry question mark here. It's got a pretty good bend in it. But this is maybe the tale of two sections of this log. And I think we're definitely going to be able to get some useful stuff out of one section, but we may be able to get something out of the ugly section as well. So the first thing we want to do is divide this in half. First thing we want to do is get our chainsaw. What are you going to do? Chew it in half, dummy? All right, so the first thing we want to do is divide this log at this knuckle. This is where that crack comes all the way up. I can feel it. I can feel the crack. So what I'm going to do is measure off. With my sawmill, I like to at least have 8 feet, 8'6", ideally, to make a good, or make a log manageable. 7, 8. Ooh, we may be able to go 9. Where did your crack go? Yeah, all right. All right, let's try 9. See what we can get. Take a tape measure in the eyeball first. Or in the rear. Watch out, timber. All right, see what she looks like inside. Whoa, mule. So she looks pretty good. There's just a outer ring of the sapwood cracked. You can see crack coming through here. So that's not that big a deal. We'll be able to mill that out when we go to square the cant, if I line it up right. Whew. Heart's definitely off-centered. So there's the heart. So that's about 5 inches there. It's, oh, it's goodness. So it's at least double. So what does that mean? Well, this is stress wood. This is wood under tension because of the way it grew on the hillside. So these boards could warp all over the place as they dry. We'll just have to see. Let's look at the other end. So if I was selling this log on Facebook, this is the angle I would show it from. Not really. So you can see she's solid there. Let's see if I can roll it. Oh, yeah. She's stout. Uh-huh. Sooner or later, everything gets exposed. All that is in the dark is revealed in the light. So, pretty good split, clearly. But I think so the whole log's 13 and a half. And about 9.5 feet is where we see a little bit of core coming back in. There's not as much center rot, but we're not going to know unless we get in there. I think we'll start with this one first. Get it on the mill, get some good boards out of it. That way I can feel good about myself before tackling that monstrosity. All right, I have to chuckle. One of y'all commented 2 videos ago when I was loading that red oak if a grapple for my tractor was on my Christmas list. Grapple for my tractor is always on my Christmas list. It's just not as simple as swapping out the bucket for a grapple. This is not a quick attach tractor, so not only do I have to convert the loader, but if I want to save my bucket, I have to put a quick attach to it, and obviously buy the grapple. And of course, I don't have any wet lines on the front of this other than curl and decurl and raise and lower. So to use a grapple, you need more. So yes, it'd be nice, but we're looking at about 3 things that have to happen before we even buy the grapple. Well, all right, well, the sun's setting low, and I promised my beloved I'd take her out for a birthday dinner. She had a milestone birthday here recently. So comment below and wish Kelly happy birthday if you like. And I promised her I wouldn't say what year this is for her. You know, that's not... Proper ladies, of course, don't tell their age. But she knew I'd try to be thrifty and maybe even shifty, and wouldn't think it'd be so nifty if I hinted around as to how old she is now. So I'm not going to do that. But so we'll get back to the log here and get it milled up in the morning and carry on. So for you guys, it'll be like that. All right, so it's the next day. We're playing Dodge the Raindrops today, but we'll see what we can get done. I've got the log on the mill with this busted out part of sapwood facing up, because we're going to take that cut off first. The heart dances quite a bit on this log, so probably not going to be able to isolate the heart completely, but we'll see what we can do. So last night after taking Kelly out to dinner, I was going through some comments, and one comment that was posted recently was one of y'all astute viewers pointing out that I'm overweight, that I'm fat. And I really appreciate those observations that some of you guys are helping me with, because I wasn't quite sure why all my clothes had, XL, 2XL on them, and why sometimes I have to suck in to be able to get my pants closed. It's really that helpful insight that allows me to manage my everyday life. So keep it up. Appreciate it. All right, while I fix the broken blade on my sawmill, I want to take a time to thank the sponsor of this video, and that's Olight. And it's been a while since I've done any promos for Olight, but still been very satisfied with the products. They've had every Olight I still use constantly. But they're introducing the new Baton 4 with the charging kit. And it's an upgrade from the Baton 3. This is my go-to. When I go to camp, I always carry this guy because, you know, it's compact flashlight, very, very easy to use, fits in the pocket well, but then even has the charger here. So you get an indicator light that tells you, you know, it's charging. That's what the red light means. And you actually charge up this kit. This is the charger. Plugs in here. So this is a battery. And then this has a battery, of course, so you kind of got double duty. Well, the Baton 4 is a little bit bigger, not much bigger, but what I like about it, they've added the new LED display, so it tells you how much the charging pack, how much life it has. And then the flashlight itself is still the same size, but they've enhanced the controls. You can see here, there's the brightness mode, and then the battery mode, and there's these little LED lights right beside. So let me turn it on here. So you can see, so I'm on the dimmest brightness, and then you can see the battery indicator here. So if I hold it down, it changes the brightness levels there. You can see how the LED changes, and of course the light gets brighter. So they've really come out with a lot of neat new products, and the reason why we're talking about it, if you're watching this video the day it was released, then tomorrow their Black Friday sale starts, and it's a pretty good sale. It's probably their biggest one they do all year, so they've got a lot of product available with a discount. I'll put a link below in the video description so you can check it out. All right, let's get back to the mill. All right, man, that is some pretty wood. My goodness. I'll get it down here, we'll get it ricked up, and I'll show you some close-ups of it, some details. Milled that at 6/4, so that's 1.5 inches basically. And I think that's going to come out real nice if we can keep it from curling up. The next trick is, can I get it down to the next level here? Got about a 10-foot elevation change down the road. Can I get it without losing it all? We shall see. Gonna put some rick boards on here too. There we go. So we ended up with 9 6/4 boards that are 12-inch wide. 3 of those have a decent amount of weight on them, like this board you see here. But the other 6 are pristine. Let me show you this next one after I get this one in place. But look at this board. This thing is amazing. Now, if that don't excite you, I don't know what lumber can. That is some pretty cherry. So you may be wondering, if you're not familiar with wood and all these type of details, why am I so excited about This cherry log, why did I take the time to mill it? Is this good construction wood for barn projects and farm projects like that? And the answer is no. It's actually not very good wood at all for outdoor projects. It's not the recommended, we'll just say. No, its value for me really shows up in the wood shop. That's where I get the most benefit out of a cherry board, especially something this wide. Now, the $20,000 question is, can I keep a board this wide stable that it doesn't curl up when it's air drying? And yeah, we'll see. With that heart going all over the place, it may or may not. But the neat thing about cherry is that as it ages, it develops this beautiful patina, just a deep red, rich color. Right now, it almost looks pink. It may not even be appealing to most. But man, once you get that oxidation on there and that patina, it looks gorgeous. Okay, so now it's time to go get Ugly Betty and bring her to the mill. All right, since I don't remember, because it's been a day, it hasn't been a day for you all, I think we were at 13 feet, maybe? Yeah, 13 feet. I think our last 3 feet are pretty ugly. You can see here the split even has a twist in it, so it's going this way. So I think all of this is going to be sacrifice, but there should be some good wood right down in here. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off so I have a 10-foot log, and it'll take some of that twist out of play, and then I can get a better look and see what the core looks like there. I've also got a lot of rock and debris that I've stuck in here where I'm dragging it. But let's cut 3 feet off of it and see. Who's your daddy now? Look at the balance on that one. Sit. So there's a fish belly here that I just cut into, and you can see where the cracking has come up over the years. This thing just didn't crack all at once. Over the years it's cracked, and it even got in between the grain and caused this separation. And it was crazy when I cut this off, this separation piece just fell right out. And you see that with all these cutoffs. You see that dark ring, that's separation as well. I could pop that center right out of there. So it looks like that crack comes as far as here, which is about almost halfway on this log. We're going to turn it and see what else we can get at this 90 degree. That thing is heavy. Even cut down that much, it's heavy. Alright, so our little trough of bust out here is so full of gravel, I have just absolutely trashed this blade. I got one more sharp blade left in the kitty, and I hate to put it on while I'm still milling out that trough. So I think what I'm going to do is try to cut as low as I can to just cut that trough out in one pass with the garbage blade on, see if I can do it without breaking the blade. Set that piece aside, then put a new blade on and be able to mill the rest of the stuff. It doesn't have all the garbage and debris in it. I think we're going to cut that about 7.5. That blade is trashed. I think that blade and I have a lot in common. We're both very dull and have a tooth out of set. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is take the old chainsaw. I'm going to cut down into this. That's trash, and I'm going to be able to salvage this second half of that cut. I think everything's out of gas right here. Oh, looky there, that's clean living. That is scruffy. Yep, obviously didn't find the bottom of the trough, but I found the carpenter ants. We've got, where'd y'all go? We got a carpenter ant. I think that, what is that? Not the slightest idea. It's obviously in the centipede family, since he's one pair of legs per segment. There's the front. Yeah, we've definitely woken up the carpenter ants, and I saw some wood roaches in there too. There's a spider. What's this? Some other type of Centipede or millipede. All right, so that explains why we have a lot of core rot in these issues, because look, there's a leaf inside the log. Go figure. Leaf made it all the way up there. I'm looking for gravel. I'm not seeing any, so. Here's the heart of the tree. You can see it. That's the heartwood, so that's the least stable portion of it. And you can see it comes up here, and actually had a branch at one point. Well, that's nice. That is a nice piece of wood right there. So that's a keeper. We will leave that at, it looks like it's about 16 quarters. So we'll leave that as is. Lay that down. Chair. See if we broke any teeth. Nope. Yeah, nope. Thought the top was missing off that one, but they're all still there. Just have to get this one on the sharpener and set. But I think I've got one more sharpen left in stock. And then somebody's got to spend the day working on some blades. That's tight and true. Well, I've talked myself in circles here, but I think what I'm going to do, since I got some really nice 12-inch wide boards yesterday off log number 1, well, the day before yesterday, I don't even remember. Between the rain and the birthday parties and everything. But I think what I'm going to do is we're going to go up 90 degrees. And we're going to do some 6x. And I've got 2 out of 3, no, I've got 3 out of 4 good edges here. So we got all of it stacked up. Here's our 6/4 stuff from the previous day. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 12 boards that are about 10 feet long and about 7 inches wide is what we ended up with. And all that 10 feet is not usable, of course, because there's so much of the fracture and busted out, the carpenter ants, everything. There's just between the carpenter ants and the fracturing, probably half the length of those boards is going to be throwaway. So was it worth going through all this trouble to mill? Obviously burned through a blade faster than I should have, but not a huge deal. I can take care of that here on farm with the sharpener and the tooth setter. But was the juice worth the squeeze? Well, if it had been anything else but cherry, and if it hadn't been that diameter, I wouldn't have messed with it. But the fact that we're dealing with 20-inch diameter cherry tree, the top end, that first log had some really beautiful wood in it. The fractured log, the lower on the stump, it was kind of fun to mill and try to figure out how to get the most out of it. And we'll still have quite a bit of usable. Even that 5 feet of ugly, since it's cherry, if it dries okay, I like to do a lot of inlay work. At least I used to do a lot of inlay work. So if that time comes again where I do inlay, cherry is one of my favorite pieces to inlay with. And of course, that just requires small little chunks. So that will be perfect for that. Well, comment below and let me know what you guys thought about this milling. And those of you that have filled out the survey to say that you do like milling work, let me know what you thought about. I went a little bit more detail on this than I normally do on some of my mill videos. So let me know what you thought about that, showing more mill work. Kind of makes the video longer. And those of you that don't like milling, obviously you probably bailed out. But those of you that do, let me know what you think, if this was a format you liked. Well, I pray everyone have a great week. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.